Chloe is just so fragile, Maya, Liam said. He looked at me with cold, distant eyes. She needs me to protect her. You are too strong. You don't really need anyone. I stared at him. I choked back my tears. So our 5 years together mean nothing? Just because she cries on command? I asked. My voice was shaking. Chloe stood behind him. She wiped away fake tears, looking like a scared little bird. I am sorry, Maya, Chloe whispered softly. I never meant to come between you two. I was so lost. Liam saved me. Oh, stop it, I snapped. You knew exactly what you were doing. Maya, do not speak to her that way, Liam warned. He quickly stepped in front of Chloe, shielding her from me. She is highly sensitive. She does not deserve your anger. And I do? I shouted, my heart pounding. I supported you when you had absolutely nothing. I paid the rent. I helped build your life. That is enough, Mrs. Henderson muttered. Liam's mother walked slowly into our living room, her arms crossed tight. She gave me a smug smile. You were never right for my son anyway. Always too ambitious. Always too loud. Chloe is a proper sweet lady. Thank you so much, Mrs. Henderson, Chloe whispered. She sniffled softly and leaned on Liam's shoulder. This is ridiculous, I said. Liam, look at me right now. Are you really throwing everything we built away for this obvious act? It is not an act, Maya, Liam replied. His voice was completely flat. I love her. I need you to pack your things. You need to leave by tonight. I felt like I couldn't breathe. The deep betrayal hurt so much. But I absolutely refused to break down and cry in front of them. Fine, I said slowly. I am leaving. I walked back into our bedroom. My fiercely loyal best friend, Sam, was already standing there. She had heard every single word. She handed me a large empty suitcase. I am going to punch him right in the jaw, Sam whispered. I am going to punch him and then drag that fake girl out by her hair. No, Sam, I said quietly. I started throwing my clothes into the bag. They really aren't worth our time. Just please help me pack. Maya, he is actually kicking you out of the apartment you found. The apartment you spent months decorating? Sam argued angrily. You cannot just let them win. I am definitely not letting them win, I replied. I am saving my own dignity. If he truly wants a fragile little bird, let him have her. We packed all my bags quickly. The living room was completely quiet when we walked back out. Liam actively avoided my eyes. Mrs. Henderson calmly sipped her hot tea. Chloe clung tightly to Liam's right arm. We are leaving right now, Sam announced loudly. And trust me, Liam, you are going to deeply regret this horrible mistake. She was the best thing that ever happened to your pathetic life. Goodbye, Maya, Liam said softly. He didn't even bother to look up at me. I stopped right at the front door. I looked around at the beautiful life I had carefully built for 5 long years. Good luck, Liam, I said firmly. You are going to need it. I walked out into the freezing winter rain. Sam quickly loaded my heavy bags into the back of her small car. You can stay at my place for as long as you need to, Sam offered gently. She hugged me tightly in the cold. Thank you, Sam, I whispered. I looked back up at the window. I clearly saw Chloe smiling down at us. She wasn't crying anymore. On that very dark day, I lost my home and my future. But as I stood there shivering in the rain, I made a silent promise to myself. I would never beg for a man's love again. I would never let anyone make me feel disposable. My loyal heart was truly shattered, but I would survive. I wiped my wet face. I knew I would finally be perfectly okay. 2 very long and busy years quickly passed. I didn't waste my time crying over a man who didn't value me. Instead, I poured every ounce of my pain into my career. You have a rare fire in you. Maya, my new boss, David, told me one sunny morning. He proudly handed me a thick blue folder. Don't let anyone put it out. This is your brand new account. You are officially our senior director. Thank you so much, David, I replied, smiling brightly at him. I will not let you down. I promise you that. I know you won't, David said firmly, nodding his head. You are the hardest worker in this entire building. You truly earned this promotion. I also spent many long months in weekly therapy with Dr. Lewis to heal my broken trust and rebuild my shattered confidence. You are doing so incredibly well. Maya, Dr. Lewis said gently during our very final session. He looked at me with kind, wise eyes. You have taken a massive, painful trauma and successfully turned it into pure ambition. How are you feeling today? I feel completely free now, I answered honestly. I finally stopped wondering why I wasn't enough for him. I realized I was simply too much for someone so incredibly weak. That is exactly right, Dr. Lewis smiled warmly. You are finally ready to officially close this painful chapter. Meanwhile, the dark karma I never asked for started working entirely on its own. Wild rumors reached me through Elena, a girl who used to be quite close to Chloe. We met for lunch on a busy Tuesday afternoon. Chloe is completely ruining him, Elena warned me over hot coffee. She quickly leaned across our small table. She spends all his money, cheats on him openly, and throws massive tantrums every single day. I just smiled very calmly and slowly sipped my sweet iced drink. Is that really so? I asked lightly. Yes, Elena exclaimed loudly. She forcefully demanded a brand new luxury car, and when Liam said he simply couldn't afford it, she screamed at him in public. She maxed out all his credit cards. He looks completely exhausted and miserable. That sounds like a deeply personal problem, I replied smoothly. He specifically chose her over me. I know, but everyone feels so incredibly bad for him, Elena said softly. She completely isolated him from his old friends. Even his mother, Mrs. Henderson, absolutely cannot stand Chloe anymore. They argue constantly. Well, Mrs. Henderson loudly proclaimed Chloe was a proper lady. I laughed softly. I guess she was totally wrong. Even Jenna, Liam's quiet co-worker, actively tried to reach out to me later that very same week. She called my personal cell phone while I was happily driving home from the large office. Maya, I am so sorry to bother you, Jenna said over the phone. Her voice sounded very nervous and shaky. But Liam is totally falling apart at the office. He misses vital deadlines. He cries at his desk. He keeps talking about you and how much he intensely regrets everything. Jenna, I appreciate your concern, I said clearly and coldly. But Liam is not my responsibility anymore. Please do not ever call me about him again. I just thought you should know, Jenna sighed deeply. He truly messed up his entire life. He wants to apologize. He made his final choice 2 long years ago, I replied. Have a very good evening, Jenna. I ended the brief call and quickly turned up the very loud music in my brand new black car. I firmly kept my heavy walls up. I was finally genuinely happy, and I wasn't going back to the terrible dark place they left me in. I had a beautiful, quiet apartment, a highly thriving career, and true peace of mind. Every sad tear I shed back then had beautifully watered the seeds of my current massive success. I clearly didn't need revenge because Liam was actively destroying his own life. I just needed to keep walking forward. I parked my car, took a deep breath, and smiled. My broken past was finally entirely behind me forever. It was a rainy Friday evening when I finally walked out of my luxury office building. Tom, the building's friendly security guard, kindly opened my large black umbrella for me. Have a wonderful weekend, Miss Maya, Tom smiled warmly. Drive safely in this terrible weather. Thank you so much, Tom, I replied nicely. You have a great weekend, too. Stay dry out here. I stepped out into the freezing storm. That is when I suddenly saw him. Liam was standing alone in the biting cold. He was looking incredibly thin, tired, and absolutely pathetic. His cheap coat was soaked. I already knew he had officially lost his corporate job after a massive public disaster with Mr. Sterling, our busy city's absolute biggest financial investor. It happened all because of one of Chloe's terribly embarrassing public dramas at a fancy business dinner. I am not giving you another cent, Liam, Mr. Sterling, had reportedly shouted in front of everybody in the very crowded luxury restaurant. Your personal life is a complete joke, and you are a massive liability to my firm. You are fired immediately. Now Liam stood blocking my path to my car. Maya, please, Liam begged loudly over the heavy rain. He was actually falling to his wet knees right there on the dirty sidewalk. I was such a massive fool. She totally ruined my entire life. I stared directly down at him for a long moment. I felt absolutely nothing. No sadness, no anger. Just pure cold emptiness. I miss you so incredibly much, Liam sobbed, reaching a shaking hand out toward my expensive shoes. She took everything from me. I have absolutely no money left. Please, Maya, just take me back. I will do anything you want. My new, highly efficient personal assistant, Marcus, quickly stepped forward in the rain to forcefully push him away. Marcus glared at Liam with pure disgust in his dark eyes. Step away from my boss right now, Marcus ordered sternly, or I will immediately call the local police to remove you. No, wait. Maya, tell him to stop. Liam cried out pitifully. I held up my right hand to firmly stop Marcus. It is fine, Marcus, I said calmly. I will handle this quickly. I slowly looked right down at the miserably broken man I once mistakenly thought I would happily marry. Maya, I am begging you, Liam whimpered loudly. I made a terrible mistake. I see that now. You are the only woman who ever actually loved me. Chloe just used me for my money. Please save me. You chose a fragile glass doll over a strong, real partner, Liam, I said softly. My steady voice was perfectly calm and completely empty of any lingering anger. You wanted someone weak who would blindly follow you? Well, you got exactly what you asked for. I was stupid, Liam yelled desperately. I know I was wrong. I need you. You don't need me, I replied coldly. You just need someone to pay your bills and fix your huge messes. I am not your mother, and I am certainly not your savior. Maya, please give me one more chance. Liam sobbed harder, burying his wet face in his dirty hands. I have absolutely nowhere else to go. My mother won't even speak to me. That is not my problem, I said smoothly. I spent 5 whole years building you up, and you threw me away in 5 completely silent minutes. I vividly remember standing in the freezing rain just like you are doing right now. You didn't care about me or my deep pain then. I care now. Liam screamed. Only because you lost everything, I stated simply. I have absolutely nothing left to give you. I deliberately turned my back on him and walked straight to my waiting luxury car. Maya, don't leave me here, Liam cried out one last time. Let's go, Marcus, I instructed my assistant. Right away, Miss Maya, Marcus replied, opening my car door. I slowly slid into my warm leather back seat and loudly closed the heavy metal door. I didn't look back at the pathetic man crying on the wet sidewalk. I was finally, entirely, and beautifully free forever,